Hey guys, my name's Gavin. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this piano loop inside of FL Studio. Super bouncy, super unique, something that I think an artist like LIL TECCA would flow perfectly on top of. But yeah, follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at gavinhadley_. Quick little updates on my life right now. I start school in less than 12 hours. And I just had a song come out with 637 Godwin. It's called Internally. It's produced by me, G Hughes, and Aiden Han. So I'm gonna link that down below in the description if you want to go check it out and stream it. And yeah, slow a dart and let's get into it. I've been extremely just mid at throwing these things. Pretty close. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but we're about an inch and a half out of the bullseye, so not bad. But let's get into the loop. So this loop, I'm gonna play it for you guys right now before I say anything further. And for all the guys commenting about that is actually a spot that hair just doesn't grow on my head for whatever reason. It's not a barber screwing up. That's like half the comments on my videos, I swear. But here we go. This is the loop. Alright, so super simple. There's only really a couple things going on, but you'll notice that piano sounds super full and cool and not just like a normal Omnisphere or Addictive Keys or Labs piano, whatever you're using. So we can start with the pianos, and before I even talk about the MIDI, you can see that there is one piano right here, one here, and one here, and all of those are actually playing at the same time. This is the Addictive Keys piano, so it's super simple, like really simple. These are just basic chords. Basically, we just have this A sharp minor chord, it goes again here, and then I just did like a little rhythm with them, and I cut everything off. I thought it gave like a really cool like suspended, and added like a bunch of suspense to the loop when I did that. And now I'm just going up the scale, so we're in the A sharp minor scale, and I know that because when I make my melodies, normally the root note or the bottom note in the first chord is like the root note of the scale. So we're just going up, as you can see, to the C, which is the C sharp, it's a C minor chord right here. And I also just added the octave or the A sharp up an octave again, just to make this chord sound a little bit more full. I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit more tips that you guys can use to make your chords sound more full and full of life too. So yeah, we have this just playing the same rhythm here, the C minor chord, and then we drop all the way down to this F minor chord right here. And F minor chords, it's the difference between minor and major. We have one major chord over here, is that there's two spaces here and then three on the top, and then over here there's three on the top and two. So it's just opposite. This is a major chord again. We just drop down to an F minor and do the octave thing again. So we just have an F up here as well, and then that plays right here as we get into the end of the pattern. And I go back up to a G sharp major, and then that just helps transition back to the start. So yeah, that's basically that. I duplicated the bass notes down here as well for all of these chords, and also I saw a bunch of empty space here, so I just took the bass notes again and put them right here. So we have like low bass notes and then low bass notes still, but they're like higher compared to those. I saw Holy do this. If you guys don't know who Holy is, you should. He's a YouTube producer, part of Internet Money, makes awesome tutorial videos. That's that. I did Alt-R on my keyboard to randomize the notes, and I also did Alt-S to strum them, make it sound a little bit more realistic. I wonder how many times you guys have heard that from a producer, tutorial maker. But yeah, after that, that's basically it for the chords. I just have this super simple melody that I hummed in my head and then put it into the piano roll. So it's dun 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 dun. Alright, just super simple like plucks. I didn't extend these notes because I kind of felt like when I reserved them like that, didn't sustain them, they just added like a little bit more like bounce, I guess. I don't like using the word bounce, but bounce. Yeah, I guess I can say that. Basically, Alt-S on those, and that is it for the piano chords, or the piano melodies in general. And also, like a melody tip that I can give you guys is like really capturing like a movement too. I feel like this melody does a really good job capturing a movement. It's like how everything stops right here is like super, it's blank space, but it goes and it works with the actual melody so much in a way. Like it just feels like it's meant to be. Now we have an Omnisphere piano too from Keyscape. It is the LA Custom C7 Rich Ballad piano. and it sounds like this. And I put RC20 on it to make it sound more old. A little bit of noise, no wobble, and a little bit of distortion, and I widened it the other way. I don't know what that's called when you do that, but that's what I did, and then a little bit of magnetic as well. And then we have one last piano. It's this contact piano. This is what it sounds like. So it has what the other two pianos don't have, which is like reverb, and it's more soft. The other pianos are more harsh and upfront in your face. So on this, I just put cassette, super cool tape plugin that I've been using for a while now. I used the Insight Fuzzy Vox presets, and then I put some reverb on it too to make it sound a little bit more tucked in the background and ambient, because again, those other two pianos don't really have that kind of ambience that this piano has. So yeah, so now to blend all three of these together, because like if you wouldn't do any panning and stuff with the main two like up and front pianos, it's gonna sound a little bit muddy and not good. So what I did here, we can play all these again. I panned this one to the left a little bit, the addictive keys, and then the omnisphere to the right a little bit. And I also mess with the stereo separation knobs. I just find that these knobs help me make the sample cooler, because they like, I don't know, they like blend the sample together like glue almost and tape everything up. It's super terrible way of explaining it that probably doesn't make any sense, but mess with those knobs and see what they do for your samples. Kept this one not panned, but it's kind of like tucked in the background, so I didn't really need to, and it's what it sounds like. So like if I put everything up the middle, I don't know how well YouTube picks up panning, but it doesn't sound bad, but I just feel like it gives it a lot more of a cool feeling if you do this. It evens out the channels a little bit, and I know this is a really common tactic, or post-processing tactic, when you record acoustic guitars. I know in a lot of Post Malone songs, there's like two people playing, or the same person playing the same acoustic pattern twice, just in two different takes, and then they pan one hard left and then the other hard right. It just gives like a cool, like immersive kind of feeling. So that's what I was going for in this too. And I think that Somebody by LIL TECCA and A Boogie, I think Mira might have done that same kind of strategy with the piano. Could be wrong, but after that, that's basically all the pianos, and the loop gets pretty simple from here on out. All we have is this little roll kind of effect. I'll show you guys how I did it. I basically just picked out a couple notes that I liked within the scale, made a little melody out of them, and then rolled all of them. So each one of these notes has 5 notes, and then I just stagger them up the piano roll by selecting all the notes and then holding down the right mouse button on my mouse and like dragging up, creates like a staircase. So yeah, super like cool, interesting, unique effect there. I put a bunch of reverb on it to blend it in, because it's gonna sound a little bit not right if you just have all these notes playing like this. Just, I don't know, not the sound I was going for. So I put Valhalla Vintage Verb on it. Also fruity reverb, dry all the way down, wet all the way up, and separating it to the right. And retro color just to like make it sound a little bit more bad. So yeah, that is that sound. Something I do all the time. I know Robbery by Juice WRLD does that in the piano top line. But I like to use that effect all the time. And after that, we just have a contact Scrubby Rickenbacker bass playing the bass notes of the sample. And we also rendered all of these piano parts up, pitched it up a semitone too as well. Oh, and one other thing I can say about this melody, these are called chromatic notes, which are notes that are right next to each other in a scale, and basically to like create a cool sort of emotional feel. I've seen a lot of producers use it different ways. For me, I like to use it and kind of create a more emotional feel, but I know a lot of people like to use the chromatic notes and create like tension, like darker kind of beats, like drill. I don't know, just darker beats in general. So like, I'm not gonna label any artist. You guys kind of know what I mean. Separating like the emotional stuff from the hard stuff, but this is the way I use it. You find 2 notes that are right next to each other in the scale. For us, we're using G and G sharp, and I drop down from whatever the lowest one is. Normally I have these 2 like flips, like this one is right here and this one's right there, and I drop down 3, and then on the 4th I just place a note 2, and it creates like a super cool like resolved feeling. So yeah, now for the rest of the sample, I just have one sound playing at a time. So we have the pianos here, which I just put into one pattern just to save space. I have the vocal here, again, didn't end up using it, but then all the loop really is just that piano accent roll thingy and then a bass. And then I rendered it into one audio file down here. We can mute all these now, we don't need them. I just duplicated one underneath and then raised it up an octave after I made it unique as a sample. And then I went over here into this, and I put some cool effects on this one that I don't normally do. So this is what it sounds like without any effects. It's gonna sound super pitched up and just bad. I also mess with the stereo separation too. So to get it kind of cool sounding, we have a fruity parametric EQ here, just cutting out some low end and some high end too, trying to make it sound underwater and a little bit, getting rid of those like, and then I added chorus. I used the 50 detune plugin. It sounds like that. Super cool effects. I've been using it in a lot of loops. It's like a kind of an alternative to some of the detunes in like RC20 or like tape emulation plugins. I really like this one though. I think it's super unique compared to the other ones, and it's actually kind of like pleasing to the ear. I feel like when you detune too much and stuff in loops, at least in like emotional loops, it doesn't turn out too well, but in like U-beats type loops, it kind of is cool. But yeah, that's what I did. I thought it turned out pretty cool. These are both of them playing at the same time. So super full and loud and like in your face, cool kind of melody. And then lastly, we just have ozonate elements on it. This is on the whole time, but originally when I was making the sample, I didn't actually turn it on until I got to this part in the loop. But you guys have been hearing it the whole time since it's on the master channel. But basically, just the guitar depth preset. It's gonna make it sound a lot more just impactful, wide, and like full sounding. I just mixed back the mix knob right here just to make it a little bit less direct and in your face. And yeah, that's basically the loop. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you're able to learn something today. All right, I'm starting school tomorrow. I said that. So I'm gonna have to experiment around with how I wanna get all these videos out. Again, I said I was working on a bunch of stuff video wise. I am, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to execute that and give you guys some cool videos. But yeah, that's all I got for you. I'm rambling. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Julian, welcome back.